Hi, good morning, folks. I wanted to go over some things that should be on your shopping list. Protein, okay? Protein, protein, protein. This is some of the stuff I buy. You might not buy this, but I just wanted to give you an idea of various ways that you can get protein besides beans, right? Everybody says store rice and beans. Yes, those are a staple, but in a situation where you have no power and you're in a grid down situation like a hurricane or flood or what have you happens, you do not want to just be eating beans and rice. So, this is some of the things I store. They're relatively inexpensive, and I think that they're a good way to have variety in your meals in a grid down situation. I happen to like bison or buffalo. Buffalo, right? Has a higher content of fat in it than beef cattle. Therefore, you'll get more protein and more calories from this than hamburger. Another good one is venison. I do have venison. Venison, however, is a light meat. So it's high caloric, low fat. But if you eat just plain venison, just like with rabbit, if you eat just only rabbit, you will starve to death because it doesn't have what's in buffalo and beef, okay? So I get ground buffalo, I get beef franks, right? Most of these go to the dogs, right? They like a couple hot dogs every day. Vienna sausage, right? Potted meat. Potted meat, it's okay, but in an emergency, this is good protein. Corned beef, right? I like corned beef. Makes good sandwiches. You can also cook it. Corned beef hash, right? It's got beef in it. It's got potatoes in it. Very good for you. Nuts. Any kind of nuts. I happen to like planters. I happen to like cashews. And I happen to like the honey roasted, right? Personal preference. Sardines. Sardines are very, very good for you, even if you don't like them. They are very, very good for you and are a very good source of protein. Tuna. If you can get good tuna, tuna. Most of us are stuck with getting like Star-Kissed or Bumblebee or whatever, right? This has been on my shelf since 7/24. So it's been on the shelf for a while. Chicken. Any kind of chicken. Any kind of chicken is good for you. Keystone. I have a whole bunch of Keystone, right? Keystone will last a good long time. I have the turkey, I have the ground beef, I have the shredded beef, you name it, I've got it. Peanut butter. You can't go wrong with a jar of peanut butter, right? Kids will eat it, you'll eat it. It's good on crackers, it's good by itself, it's good to make peanut butter cookies, which is why I got the sugar, and it's just an all-around good item to have on your shelf. Now, I'm a firm believer in having a mixture of everything. which is why I also have freeze-dried protein, right? I have freeze-dried ground beef. I have freeze-dried ground turkey. I've got it all, okay? This is how you want to go at starting your pantry. First, you want to have the regular that you eat on a daily basis. Then you want to have your backups, and then you want to have the backups and the backup to the backups, right? Of course, you want to rotate all of this, right? This is stuff that's coming off of my shelf that needs to be used. Okay, like I said, this has been in my pantry since last July, right? So this has got to be used. This is what you do. You go through your inventory, you see, okay, hey, I've got a couple cans of this or that I didn't use up, and I need to use it. But protein is absolutely essential for muscle fiber. Okay, if you do not have a source of protein, another good source is eggs, right? Eggs have all the protein that you need, especially if you have dogs. Eggs have all the protein they need, right? All of this means nothing if you don't have a way to utilize it, whether it be with a pop can opener, or bread, bread for spreading, or a way to cook it, whether it be in a cast iron skillet on a fire, or whether it be an electric cooker with a solar generator. Either way, or even a gas generator. Either way, all of this means nothing if you cannot utilize it and you don't know how to utilize it. A good thing and a good rule of thumb is you look at what your family will eat, whether it be your pets or your actual human family. If your family won't eat it, don't buy it. Okay? Plain and simple. I don't care what anybody else tells you. If your family will not eat this stuff, do not buy this stuff. You are wasting your money. Do not waste your money. Do put up protein that your family will eat. Whether it be nuts, whether it be peanut butter, whether it be some kind of canned meats, whether it be fresh meats. Get what your family will eat. All of this means nothing if it's not ate up before it goes bad. All of it means nothing if it's not put in rotation and used. If it's just stored up on a shelf and never used, you just wasted your money. I want that to be very clear. I'm not talking about storing for the apocalypse. I'm not that kind of prepper. I store to get through a situation, whether it be to wait until spring when more food becomes abundant, and to get through winter, to get through a hurricane season, to get through a basic flood. All of this is backup to a possibility, which has happened to me in my past, of losing a job. So for the next 2 months, I'm looking for another job. I have no money coming in, which means I can't spend money on groceries, which means that my pantry has to carry me that amount of time. That's what I want you to think about. I don't want you to think about this crazy new thing where people are going, Oh, well, we have to store for the apocalypse. No, you don't. Food will be there. It will just go up in price. And the availability will plummet. So, buy what you eat and eat what you buy. Okay? If you do not eat tuna, don't buy tuna. All right? If you don't eat pork, don't buy pork. There's no reason for you to have it on your shelf or in your freezer if you don't eat it. So that is my tip for today. Buy what you eat. Get yourself a buffer. Just like you have insurance on your car, get a buffer to carry you through hard times. Okay? Hard times could be losing your job, a house fire. It could be anything, right? A medical emergency. Okay? This is what you've got your deep pantry for. It is not for, oh, the apocalypse has happened. We've got Roman street gangs on the streets shooting people and taking everybody's stuff. It's not for that. Okay? There are plenty of people out there that give you ideas of how to handle that. That is not my point. My point is get a deep pantry. Okay? If you run into the situation like I did yesterday, and I'm going to show you because I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to show you. And you're going to be like, holy hell. Yesterday, I went to the butcher shop. You see all this meat? You see all this meat? I went to the butcher shop. And because I bought in bulk, I got a massive, massive discount. When you can, buy in bulk. You get more food and you'll save several pennies per pound. Okay? If you can buy in bulk, buy in bulk. If you cannot buy in bulk, buy 1 or 2 cans more than what you're going to eat that week. Okay? And you can see I've had a Food Line delivery today. Always be aware. My neighbor's been over and left his coffee. Lord have mercy. He was watching my dogs while I was up in West Virginia. Always be aware of the prices in your neighborhood. Always be aware of sales going on. This is how you save money, is you buy in bulk, you buy the sales, and you make sure you have protein on the shelf. I'm focusing on protein, and here's why I'm focusing on protein. For those of you who've been paying attention to the prepper information going around this week, the LDS Church, God bless them, decided to send 10 million pounds of food to various food banks. Now, if you know anything about the LDS Church, you know that them sending food to the food banks is not a new thing. They've been doing it for the last 100 years. God bless them. However, the fact that they see the need to send that many pounds of food to food banks around the country should be a wake-up call to you. Secondarily, today, it came out that in Texas specifically, in the beef herds, which are at the lowest that they've been since 1918, they have reported screwworms, which is an insect which infests the cattle and ends up killing them. It's a parasite in the beef. This means that our lowest herds are going to be called more. Now, some of those will be caught early enough that they can be treated. Some won't, unfortunately. All that beef will be lost. So this is going to affect beef. It's going to affect dairy. It's going to affect all the way down the chain. Because cattle is not used only for food. It's also used for clothing. It's also used for vitamins. It's also used in glue. It's used in it's used in dog food. It's used in a lot of things, right? The list goes on and on and on and on and on. This will become an issue. Focus this week on protein. If you can get it, stock a little extra. I'm not saying go crazy, but if you can get it, stock extra. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. And I've noticed that this week. And I've noticed how everybody is talking about everything else but what's important. What's important is food on your table. That's what's important. That's what you need to focus on. Right? Can you feed your animals? Can you feed you? If everything was to go to crap, can you feed your household? So this week, I want you to focus on protein. I don't care if it's nuts. I don't care if it's peanut butter. I don't care, right? For you and your family, buy what you eat. Okay? It's absolutely imperative that you have protein on the shelf, especially if you have kids who are growing. If they don't get a high enough protein content in their food when they're younger, when they're growing, it can cause problems later on when they're older. It's the same thing with milk, right? If they don't have the proper calcium content, etc., it can cause problems later on when they're older. And that's what I have for you today. I hope this is informative. I hope this helps somebody out. I'm sure a lot of you that are watching my channel already know this, but I cannot reiterate the fact that everything is pointing towards a bad winter as far as being able to procure food. Just food. I'm not even talking about the extra stuff. I'm talking just food. Everything is pointing for a very bad winter for that. It's all lining up like it did in the early 1930s, right before the Great Depression. Stock market's fallen, right? People pulling the money out of the bank. People losing their jobs for various reasons, right? The tariffs are so high that we can't get food into the country from other countries. So companies are scrambling to get what they need put on the shelves. And I'm sure you've noticed it if you've gone to the grocery store. Certain items are no longer available. They're on back order. How long they will be on back order, who knows? Right? Protein. You need protein. You need to get protein. You need to store it up. Whether you can it, buy it already canned, freeze dry it, however, you need protein. Bicycle.